The 90-90 hip stretch may be the single most effective stretch a golfer can do if he or she has less than an ideal hip rotation during the swing. Sit on the floor with both your front and back legs bent to 90 degrees. The angle in the groin created by both legs should be also 90. Take the hand of the same side of the forward leg and place it on the ground next to your hip with the inside of the arm facing forward. Tip your pelvis forward as though you were a bowl and you were trying to pour the contents out over your belt buckle. Hold this position. Done correctly, you will have increased the curvature of your lumbar spine. Inhale as you bend forward, keeping the curve in your low back bending from the hips. To aid in building the proper stretch position, put pressure into the hand by the hip. As you lower your trunk towards the floor, allow yourself to bend only from the hip, keeping the chest up, shoulders parallel to the floor, and the eyes level with the horizon. The internal and external hip rotators are commonly overlooked in many stretching programs. A golfer cannot afford this oversight, as flexible hip rotators are key to the execution of good golf swing. For external hip rotators, stand with your feet parallel and slightly farther apart than the length of your foot. Turn the foot of your leg you wish to stretch inward, pivoting off the heel as though you were putting out a cigarette. Make sure to keep your pelvis square to the front. Once you have turned your foot inward as far as possible, hold the foot pressed into the ground with the knee just slightly unloaded but still stiff. Turn your pelvis to the opposite direction of the foot movement without allowing any movement of the inwardly rotated foot. For internal hip rotator, to stretch the inward rotator of the leg, the process is much the same as the external, except now you're going to rotate the foot outward, pivoting off the heel. Rotate the leg forward as far as possible, keeping the hips square up to the front. Then hold the leg still and rotate the pelvis inward, opposite the movement of the foot. This stretch is a classic stretch used by many athletes. Sit on the floor in an upright position with the feet together and the heels drawn into the groin as far as possible. The forearms should rest along the shins with the hands grasping the ankles. Inhale while using the arms to open the legs to the point of a comfortable stretch. Activate the groin muscles for 5 seconds, attempting to close the legs against the arms, which provide an immovable barrier. Exhale and use the arms to take the legs to a new stretch position. This stretch should be performed for 3 to 5 repetitions for about 20 to 25 seconds. Stand with your feet parallel and close together. Keep your legs straight and stick your buttocks out until you have an arc in your low back. As you bend forward from the hips, do not let your low back begin to round. Try to imagine that you are a waiter at a classy restaurant serving expensive wine. Bend forward from the hips until you feel a comfortable stretch on your glute and hamstrings. The stretch may be felt behind the knees or below the buttocks depending on where you are tight. Hold the stretch position for 20 seconds. Relax and come to an upright position. Repeat 3 to 4 times. From a kneeling position, drop back onto your hands as seen in the video. You may need a mat to perform this stretch to avoid discomfort to the knees. Project the hips forward as though you are trying to touch the ceiling with your belt buckle. Once you have a comfortable stretch, hold it for 20 seconds. This stretch should be repeated 3 to 4 times until you no longer feel you are making progress. You can also use a Swiss ball to help do the quad stretch. Begin in the sprinter start stance as you see in the video with the foot and ankle of the leg on the ball to be stretched. Slowly rise forward. From this upright position with one foot and one hand on the ball or hip, draw your navel inward as you roll the pelvis up, under, and flatten the back. This will increase the stretch of the quadricep. Again, hold for 20 seconds. Do 3 to 4 times on the right side and left side.